and out today as well. So we're gonna be making some chocolate covered strawberries. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Yeah?
We're also gonna be making these fun heart-shaped chocolate toppers for our strawberries for Valentine's Day. And for our chocolate today, we're gonna be using white, light pink, and dark pink candy melts. And for our toppings, we're gonna be using some heart-shaped sprinkles, some rock sugar, and some sweetened coconut flakes. And I grabbed all of these at Bulk Barn for under 20 bucks.
So Liz is gonna do a little magic trick on our chocolate to make it melt.
Shimmer and shine like the fire, make it melt.
Whoa! It worked!
Once the chocolate is melted, we're going to add it into some Ziploc bags and make ourselves some makeshift piping bags here with all three of the colors. And then I'm just gonna take some scissors and snip a tiny piece off the corner. And on some parchment paper with the wax side up, I'm going to create some heart shapes, and you want to keep the size roughly the same size as your strawberries. And there is no rhyme or rhythm to the shapes that I'm creating. I'm literally just making whatever comes to mind. And you want to go ahead and add some toppers to these while the chocolate is still wet. And you can also mix up the colors and create whatever shapes that you like. I'm creating these little handles at the bottom of the hearts because I was actually going to like poke them into the strawberries, which didn't end up working out. So just ignore the little handles at the bottom.
I also do that.
You wanna do that too?
Yeah, too. I want to do that too.
You ready?
Just spread it.
Okay. Whoa. Oh, very pretty. Okay, so now you guys can put whatever toppings you want. Now put some glitter. You want to put glitter?
Yeah.
Okay, put glitter.
Too.
Alright. Good job, guys. Very pretty.
Now we're gonna grab our fresh strawberries, and once these are completely washed, you want to make sure you dry them on a towel and remove the water 100%, or the chocolate melts are not going to stick to the strawberries. And you want to grab the strawberries that are roughly the same shape and size. If a few of them have indents like this, don't worry about it because the chocolate is going to cover up all these imperfections. As long as they're the same size, you should be okay. You want to avoid these big funky shaped ones though. These are not going to work. And then I'm going to go ahead and take all of the leaves off of the strawberries because once you start dipping these into the candy melts and the chocolate, it tends to look really messy.
Okay, so I just popped these into the microwave for about 2 minutes each. And I also have a bowl of boiling water here. So in case any of these start to like harden or start to cool down too much, I'm just gonna pop it into the bowl and it should keep it nice and warm while we're working. And then I also have this piece of styrofoam. And then these are the skewers that we're gonna be using. These are very pointy and sharp.
And now we're gonna go ahead and grab all of our toppings, and you can use any color and any sprinkles and toppings that you wanna use at home. This is just what I'm using for Valentine's Day. I like to take the skewer and dip it into the chocolate first before I poke it into the strawberry because it works kind of like a glue and it makes sure that it doesn't slide around on us. So you're gonna dip your strawberry in completely and then you're just gonna kind of wiggle off the excess and twirl it around. And while it's still wet, you're gonna add whatever toppings that you want to add. And then we're just gonna stab it into our piece of styrofoam and we're gonna leave it there to dry. And then we're gonna go ahead and continue with all three of the colors. Like I said, there's no rhyme or rhythm to what I'm doing. I'm just kind of dipping it and kind of seeing how it goes. And our strawberries aren't the most red in the world because it is wintertime right now in Canada and these are the best that I could find. But I'm leaving a little bit of a gap at the bottom because it kind of gives it room to drip. These candy melts are pretty much white chocolate with food coloring in them. So if you're wondering what these taste like, it just tastes like white chocolate. And the toppings that we're using on them all are very, very sweet. So I would recommend also using like some kind of nuts or something that isn't sweetened because these honestly ended up being so incredibly sweet. But feel free to mix the toppings up. Here I'm using some of the heart-shaped sprinkles as well as the rock sugar, which looks like pretty glitter. The white on white strawberries ended up being my favorite. I thought they looked the prettiest. They look like snow. And then also feel free to leave some of them just plain like this. They're beautiful on their own.
I just don't want to eat it.
Why don't you want to eat it?
Because it looks too yummy.
It's too yummy to eat? Try it. Make sure you don't poke yourself, yeah? Good job. How does it taste? Like the best thing ever?
Let me just try mine. It's so good. With the sprinkles. Ah! It's not the
Whoa, you made the best strawberries of the day.
And you too.
I think our bouquet is done.
Bouquet? What's a bouquet?
A bouquet is what we're making. So when there's like lots of flowers that are together, that's a bouquet.
So we're gonna grab our heart-shaped toppers that we made earlier, and these have completely dried and set, and they pop off very easily from the wax paper. But you still wanna be very careful because they do snap in half very easily. And all of our strawberries are now set as well. So now we're going to combine them both. And I'm just gonna grab our little makeshift piping bags with our melted candy melts in it. And we're going to use that as the glue to attach onto our strawberries. And you don't need to apply any pressure to this. Just place a dab of the chocolate onto the strawberries and hold it down for a couple of seconds. And that's all you need to do. And just set it aside to dry on the wax paper. Look how beautiful that looks. This one was my favorite. As I'm attaching these, I'm kind of just eyeballing to see which heart looks best on each strawberry that I'm using. There is no rhyme or rhythm to what I'm doing. I'm kind of just going with the flow and going with whatever feels right. It may seem like there's a lot going on right now with these strawberries, but once they all come together in the vase, they look very expensive and elegant, and it looks like you spent lots of money on these and lots of time on these.
So these have been hanging out and drying on the wax paper. Everything dried up really quickly. It took like 10-15 minutes. Okay, so now we're just gonna pile these into our vase, and you can fill this with whatever you guys want. I'm gonna be using some lettuce because that's just the way I learned how to make these. I have my iceberg lettuce here, and I'm just gonna chop it up roughly, probably just in 4s. The lettuce is like the perfect texture because it's soft enough for the skewers to go through, but it's strong enough that the skewers don't move around in there.
This is my cookie that I made.
Yeah, is the cookie that you made yummy?
Yeah.
And you want to pack your lettuce tight because you don't want to risk having these move around on you. Especially if you have to like put this in the car and take it to somebody, you don't want to risk having it move around on you. Right, Rose?
Yeah.
So just kind of fill all the holes. See? That actually doesn't look bad. That actually looks really pretty, but it is going to get covered up, so don't worry about it. So now we're just going to start assembling. And what I like to do is I like to go in with like one color at a time, just so I know that it's like dispersed evenly, if that makes any sense. So we're going to start with all of the hot pink and just kind of disperse those out first. Thanks, Liz. Next, we're going to go in with the lighter pink. And I'm going to put these in at different lengths. And then I'm also going to start putting in some ones with the toppers inside. Okay, so we have some high, some low.
I'm just placing the strawberries in and out until it looks like what I want it to look like. You just want to avoid putting two strawberries that are very similar in color next to each other. And I'm also placing all the ones with the toppers kind of towards the end so that the toppers are visible because the heart shapes look really, really pretty. And I'm using the regular strawberries kind of as fillers towards the center of the vase.
So now I just have some like cellophane paper here, and I'm just gonna layer it with a little bit of the tissue, like this. Maybe we can crisscross it. You wanna crisscross it?
Crisscross applesauce hands in your lap.
Okay, so I crisscrossed these, and then we're just gonna place it in the middle like so, and then we'll just gather everything up. Like that. Pretty?
Yeah.
And then I'll cut the excess off. Okay, but now I need your help, okay? Yeah. And then we're just gonna take any old ribbon that we have.
And we're gonna be using this ribbon to tie all of our layers together, and you're gonna tie it at the narrowest part of the vase. And if you're gonna be delivering this in a car, keep the plastic wrapping long like this and just fold it up and tie it on top of the strawberries to keep it protected. We're gonna be eating these tonight in bed, so I'm cutting all of the excess plastic paper off, and that's it. So beautiful.
Our Valentine's bouquet is done. Do you like it?
I want to eat it tonight.
We're gonna try and save some for Ken, but I doubt that we will. We're probably gonna eat this for ourselves tonight in bed. All right, guys, this was literally under 30 bucks to make. It was very fast and easy, and it's super fun to do with the kids. And I really hope you guys try this out for yourself. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. Should we eat the strawberries or should we eat Zariah?
Eat the rice.
Okay.